Hello, Africa. This is Business Africa, and I am Ignatius Ano. Our top stories. The Kingdom of Eswatini looks to sustainable energy to boost its economy. The country is gearing up to become less dependent on the importation of electricity. Inflation sparks panic among consumers in Burundi as prices of some basic commodities soar. We hear from a local economist. And a little later, participants at the just-ended symposium on a common currency for the West African monetary zone make a case for reforms. There's no word yet on what's next to bring the eco-currency into fruition. Details right now. The Kingdom of Eswatini is inching closer to becoming a self-sufficient power producer. By diversifying its approach to electricity generation, it hopes a path to sustainable energy will boost the country's revenue and expand the energy sector. Now, the mission for the kingdom is simple: produce more than enough electricity for its people and sell power to other countries on the continent.
eSwatini has added 2 more solar photovoltaic plants to its sustainable energy portfolio. A statement from the Natural Resources and Energy Ministry said the Lafusima solar plant, which is near completion, will guarantee a capacity of 10 megawatts at the point of connection. With a cost of nearly $19 million, the project is expected to generate about 13.75 megawatts of electricity to the national grid. The plant will be connected to the existing eSwatini Electricity Company transmission system. The Lavusima project is also the country's first utility-scale solar plant. The kingdom is on the move to roll out more sustainable energy projects in its quest to become less dependable on neighbors like South Africa and Mozambique to provide its energy needs. According to the statement, the project has led to the creation of some 170 jobs. Future maintenance of the solar panels is anticipated to add more job openings.
Joining us from the Eswatinian capital of Mbabane is Peter Membe, the Kingdom's Natural Resources and Energy Minister. Great to have you on the program. Thank you. So this should certainly be a proud moment for the Kingdom to have its first utility-scale solar PV plant. What would it mean for your energy generation capacity?
We have a national goal that says we need to have 100% connectivity in the country. That you can only achieve by improving your generation capacity. So right now we are following steps of the first world countries where we are saying we want to not just supply power, but to supply sustainable power. This is why we are looking for a mix in terms of our power supply. We are looking at a mix of solar power. We are looking at biomass. Obviously, for sustenance, there is nothing you can do. You still have to depend on your fossil fuel power supply. The country per se has a program to finally come out of fossil fuel power, but this will be gradual. Obviously, for now, to be able to supply industry with enough power, we need to increase our generation capacity.
And you highlighted the essence of renewable energy to improve the welfare of residents on the continent. So as you begin to diversify approach to electricity generation, is there a holistic plan to provide technical expertise to African countries still heavily dependent on imported power?
Definitely, we are ready to do that. And this is often done at conferences where we talk to power supply within the region and within Africa as a whole. What we are proud of in the project that we've just done it is the most recent technology that you can ever think of in terms of solar power. So we are very proud to share that experience with Africa.
And you're not stopping there. Talk to us about the other renewable projects underway, its cost and timelines for delivery to the people of Eswatini.
We have a short-term generation plan, which is saying within a period of 3 years, well, we will sort of overlook that 2020 has now been a forgotten year because of the COVID-19 situation. But we are still intending to have enough generated within the period as planned. We had planned a 40 megawatt additional solar power, and we had planned a 40 megawatt biomass, which were all going to be done within a period of 3 years. We are still aiming at that, and we are hopeful that these projects will come through.
It's a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Hello again. You're welcome back to the program. And I am Ignatius Anom. Burundi's economy is reeling from the impact of the health crisis. And as if that it's not enough, locals are frustrated about the soaring prices for some basic commodities. Long queues to purchase commodities like sugar, for instance, are now a common sight in the Central African nation, piling pressure on the central government.
Sugar, beer and oil. These are some of the commodities whose prices have been skyrocketing in recent weeks, prompting concern among the public in the Central African country. Some products have become scarce, prompting long queues at stores, while others have disappeared from the shelves. Local producers are struggling, while importers are set back by the dire state of the economy. The question of sugar has become complicated. This small quantity used to be sold for 100 Burundian francs. It is now 200. This is very insignificant. We try to replace it with honey or milk, but it is expensive. Families worry that the cost of living could rise uncontrollably. At a certain point, the population will no longer be able to buy these basic necessities. This economist accuses retailers of hoarding essential goods to raise prices. It is the speculation and corruption which is widespread in the commercial sector. It must be eliminated. The professionals of the trade must exercise their professions, and I believe that the citizens will find their account there. Burundi's $3 billion economy is one of the smallest in the world and has been hit by foreign currency shortages which have affected imports and forced the Burundian franc to lose value.
The recently held symposium on a common currency for the West African Monetary Zone is pushing for reforms. The goal for the ECO is to facilitate trade and financial exchanges, reduce cost of transactions between nations, and an uptick in competition. Right now, it is not certain when exactly ECOWAS member states would achieve this monetary union. From Lomé, here's correspondent Serge Kofi.
The États Généraux de l'ECO held in Lomé, Togo, in its initial stages has produced several proposals. The participants made their copies on a West African monetary reform and the measures to be taken to put the ECO into force, a guarantee of the sovereignty of states.
When we talk about ECO, we are talking about the ECOWAS ECO, which concerns the 15 member states, not the project of Macron and Ouattara, who are trying to torpedo the ECOWAS project. We are talking about the ECOWAS project, which restores full sovereignty to the states and which serves them as an instrument for structural transformation. We are talking about the ECOWAS project, which restores full sovereignty to states and which serves as an instrument for structural transformation, for endogenous and self-centered development. And this currency must serve this project.
The roadmap for the creation of the West African ECO currency sets as a major principle the indispensable transformation of African economies. resources. In concrete terms, the ECO must promote endogenous development, no more dependence, but rather a monetary policy that favors the production of money when growth is forecast. This would favor access to credit, particularly for businesses, and thus potentially accelerate development in the region.
The principles that underpin the construction of this new currency we have returned to. The first principle is the support of the people. We really want a people's currency. And this is really something that seems important to us because we think that one of the weaknesses of the CFA franc is that it is a currency of the elites, and the other principle is that of parity, which is, in our opinion, should be illustrated by the centralization of foreign exchange reserves.
Another proposed reform within the roadmap to be approved by state heads is to abandon the French Treasury guarantee granted to West African Economic and Monetary Union member states.
And that's it for Business Africa. You can be a part of the program via our various social media handles. Follow me on Twitter @Ignatius, and also head over to Africanews.com for the entire program and more. I thank you for watching, and goodbye.